What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another video. And you guys, it's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. You see, Donald Trump, people like Donald Trump, Gordon Ramsay, they sleep like 4 hours a night. They spend the rest of the day just working, making money, making moves, man. And I feel like such a piece of garbage when I compare myself to these people, because I'm not 78, and this 78-year-old man is showing me up, and he's showing me up bad. But what can I do? It's it's just the way he is. So we're gonna check this out. There's a few things we're gonna check out. We're gonna check out how Donald Trump kind of changed the political landscape, if you will. Take a quick look at that, and we're gonna take a quick look at the new. Oh, what is it? Excuse me one second, folks. The new, yeah, the Secretary of Veteran Affairs of the VA. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, let's check this out. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All that stuff really helps out the channel. Plus, we'd love to have you be the newest member of the flock. The flock is for life. So come join us. We'd love to have you, okay? The air is for everyone. Now, we're going to look at this because, for example, Trump won more votes from white women and Latino men in 2024 than he did in 2020. Now, mind you, in 2020 he was making more inroads than he was in 2016. In 2024 is just when he just maxed out and he went, crazy with folks. He was actually, believe it or not, he had white women 19.6%. Is that real? 19.6? Wow. Yeah, 19.6 to 17.4 compared to Harris. That's really impressive. That's super impressive. And then, of course, men, he was winning total 20.4% to her 13.3%. Now, these are, I'm guessing, white. I'm guessing this is white and white women and Latino men. I'm guessing, right? Oh no, that's white men. Yeah, it is. So it's white men 20.4% to 13.3% of Harris. And then he also won white women 19.6% to 17.4%. Black men he lost, of course, but he didn't lose by what normally he would have lost. He lost she got 3.9% of the vote of black men. He got 1.1%, so that's not too bad for a Republican candidate, believe it or not. And black women is where she just like destroyed Trump. She got 6.4% and he got 0.5%, but still not that bad. I know it looks bad, 0.5%, but you understand Republicans don't get these big chunks like that from minorities. Now look at how impressive this is with Latino men, right? He's got 3.3%, and while she's got 2.6%. So Hispanics and Latinos were not buying that crap. Latinx. The Hispanic women, the Latino women, 2.3% voted for Trump, 3.7% voted for Harris. Now, Harris did make some inroads with white voters that had no college degrees, but she lost gigantically, just a hugely, bigly, however funny Donald Trump think you want to say. She lost bigly on voters of color and people with no college degrees. White voters no degree. She lost by a margin of 1%, 2.3% from him, 1.3% to her. White voters college degree, 0.8% for her, negative 0.5% for Donald Trump. What the hell does that even mean? I'm guessing, yeah, that's 2024 versus 2020. That's what it is. That's what it is. And he was obviously underwater from 2020 with voters that had college degrees. But see, she's underwater by 0.5% also with voters of color that have a college degree. Isn't that interesting? If you've got a college degree and you're white, you have, a 0.5% chance, right, of being included in this. Whereas if you have you'll be 0.5% negative in the tank for Trump. Whereas if you have a college degree and you're a person of color, you have a you have a negative 0.5% chance of being with Harris. That's so interesting. The two different dynamics there. And then of course he's got a 0.5% positive with voters of color and college degrees, so an entire 1% difference there. And then she really loses it with voters of color with no degree. She loses it by a margin of negative 5.1%, where he's at 0.2%. Not doing great, but doing much better than she is. And then on top of that, she got fewer younger voters, but she got fewer younger voters than Biden, but she also did get more old voters than Biden. So it's kind of weird. So she kind of outperformed in certain ways, but underperformed in others. If she would have obviously performed better with college-educated minorities, with younger people, she would have won the election. She would have won the elections, like she would have ran it right through. But she did horribly. See this right here, from 18 to 29, she's got negative 2.6. It's not good. Whereas he's at negative 0.1%, which is not great, but it's a lot better than negative 2.6. And then with the 30 to 44 crowd, she's at negative 0.7, where he's at a positive 0.5. With the 45 to 64 crowd, she's at a negative 3.2%, and he's only at a negative 0.1%. So big differences here, huge differences here. She was straight up 18 to 29. She was getting her ass handed to her. Freaking 30 to 44, getting her ass handed to her. 45 to 64, she was getting her ass handed to her. Now 65 and older, she won by apparently a margin of 1.1%. She had 3.4%. He had 2.3%. Trump performed better in all racial groups than he did 4 years ago compared to Biden and Harris. So that's great. He apparently gained on the white vote to tie with her at a 1.6%. The black vote, interestingly enough, she lost a ton of the black vote. She lost at least a whole 2% of the black vote, where he's at negative 0.1%. And I know these numbers don't sound good, but for a Republican, they are, because typically minorities don't show up for the Republicans, 2.2% negative for Harris with Latinos, and he was at a 1.4%. I can tell you right now, in Florida, in Central Florida, and in Miami, because I'm from Miami, Miami-Dade went completely red, bro, completely red. Here in what's Central Florida, it's pretty red, dude. Like, honestly, it's redder than I ever thought it would be. Number one, it's a lot more country than I thought it would be. Like, it's kind of like Georgia, like country, and I love it. And it's something you're used to. I've only been here 7.5 years or so, almost 8 now, and a little bit more than 7.5. And yeah, man, like I love it, But it's funny when you look at stuff like this map right here, and you look at the turnout. Florida is one of those states where it really turned out for him by a lot. And as you can see, this map right here, the darker it is, this map shows you the improvement. The darker it is, the more improvement the state showed for Trump. And then this is the interesting thing. If it was safe red, if it was a safe red state, Donald Trump improved still by 4.5%. That's crazy. If it was a red likely state, he still improved by 4.9%. If it was a swing state, he improved on these are all averages by 4.5%. If it was a blue likely state, 3.6%. And if it was a safe blue state, he improved by 7%. These are crazy numbers. These are just insane numbers. Now, all of that might be like, oh, well, what's going on? Well, what's going on is that the red conservative, the conservative movement, I almost said the red party, that sounds super communist. I'm not saying that. But yeah, it was a red wave, you guys, and it wasn't a huge one because at the end of the day, we didn't get Congress by much as we should have, and I would have preferred by at least another 5-10 seats. But it's we can do something with it as long as we work together. The Republicans can do something with it. Let's see, because if they keep showing out like this, I'll literally leave the Republican Party. As it is, I feel very little connection with the Republican Party. I'm just a conservative. So Donald Trump, being Donald Trump, man, he's working the wee hours of the morning. He has picked former Rep. Doug Collins for Secretary of Veterans Affairs. I had no idea that Doug Collins lost to Raphael Warnock in a 2020 Senate race. I remember that name, but I thought he had stepped out because he just didn't want to do it anymore. Apparently, he lost. Says President-elect Donald Trump has picked Doug Collins, a lawyer, veteran, and former congressman, to lead the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. We must take care of our brave men and women in uniform, and Doug will be a great advocate for our active duty service members, veterans, and military families to ensure they have the support they need. Thank you, Doug, for your willingness to serve our country in this very important role, Trump wrote in a statement on his pick. Collins was deployed to Iraq during the Iraq War. Honored to accept Trump's nomination as Secretary of Veteran Affairs. Our heroes deserve the best care and support, Collins wrote on social media platform X. Dude, X, thank God for X, man. Honest to goodness, dude. Like, it's so... If it wasn't for X, there would be no hustle for the truth. Because, honestly, MSN, the legacy media, I would recommend to steer clear of it and only watch it to make fun of them. Because they have gotten so crazy with their framing. Just yesterday, it was yesterday, they were talking about how RFK Jr. was an anti-vaxxer and a conspiracy theorist, and how is he going to be Secretary of anything? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys. Oh man. They've got some really solid cabinet picks, man. Some really solid cabinet picks, and they've reached across the aisle. I don't know. They find trouble with each and every single person because it's Trump. He could literally put up the Muhammad Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Jesus Christ, and they'd be like, oh no, wait, this is too much. Donald Trump is obviously a racist. He's doing this because of whatever crazy DEI mandate he has or whatever. Because I've heard the craziest things. I've heard, like, for example, his chief of staff is a woman. First chief of staff to ever be a woman, and that's a big deal, right? Well, they're saying, oh, he just did it because he wanted to do it to show that he's not really sexist, but he is. So I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. When he doesn't appoint a woman to a role, he's sexist. When he does appoint a woman to a role, he's still sexist. When he appoints people of color or something, he's still racist. So you know what? Fuck these people. Fuck them. Because at the end of the day, there's no way to make them happy. There's no way to just kind of appease them and show them that he's not racist. So you know what? Fuck them. At the end of the day, you can't work with the MSM. You can't work with them. Just work with look, what Donald Trump did to win the election, going on like YouTuber streams and stuff like that, and Twitch and all that. All that is awesome. And I think it helped win him the election. Obviously, Joe Rogan and things like that. But you gotta be able to speak the truth, and you can't do that on MSM. You can't do that on legacy media. So X has become a huge thing. YouTube has become a huge thing. The thing is that YouTube is kind of throttled. Like channels like these get throttled just because we have a conservative opinion. But anyways, that's where we're at, folks. I think Doug Collins is gonna be great. I like him. I've always liked him. I had wondered where he had disappeared off to. But that's it, you guys. I'll put this these links, both of them, I guess, in the video. I'd love to hear your comments down below. That would be great. I would love to know what you guys think of this video. What do you guys think of these inroads that Donald Trump was making in so many different groups? I think it's awesome. I would love to have the Republican Party constantly making these inroads, and I hope that this is just the sign of things to come. That would be amazing. But that's it, you guys. That's all I got for right now. I'll probably hit you guys up with another video in a little bit. It's only 7 a.m. So we'll get to another video today probably. It's Friday. Today's the Tyson fight. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. All right, you guys. Well, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And as always, stay safe and stay based.